If you're mentally overloaded, if your thoughts never stop, this episode is for you. I didn't expect a movie to call me out, but this one did. One line stopped me cold, and I immediately thought of you. A few weeks ago, my business coach assigned me the task of watching A Peaceful Warrior. I found it on YouTube. It's from 2006. And wow, what a movie. The mindset, the message, the way it cuts through the noise, it was spot on. And for me, as a business owner, as someone who is actively reaching out to stroke survivors and individuals with aphasia and their care partners, this was a game changer. It's free on YouTube right now. I highly recommend it. This movie is not about stroke. It's not about caregiving, but somehow it's about all of it. The fog we live in. Lately, I've been preoccupied constantly trying to figure out how to reach care partners and survivors. And you would think it would be relatively easy, right? But it's not, because everybody comes from a different area. They start from a different place. And this urgency, this constant churning and striving keeps me up at night. It's mental noise. I would feel forgetful, exhausted, overwhelmed. And some nights my brain would just not shut off. But here's the thing, that constant mental overload, it leads to burnout, and it's measurable. Did you know that over 50% of stroke caregivers report high emotional distress, higher than even the survivors themselves? This comes from the American Stroke Association. Caregiver overload can lead to memory issues, anxiety, reduced ability to plan and to regulate emotions. This comes from the Journal of Nursing. Then the line that hit me, take out the trash. I paused the movie and then I paused my thoughts. This wasn't literally about taking out the trash. It wasn't about chores, but it was about everything I'd been carrying. And I thought that this must be what caregivers are experiencing every day. And what is the trash really? It represents the guilt, the looping thoughts, the constant to-do list, the future fears, past regrets, and the belief that you have to hold it all together. Mental trash is the clutter that keeps your brain from resting, and it has consequences. Decision fatigue can cause irritability, forgetfulness, poor concentration, especially in overwhelmed caregivers. Think about what you're thinking about when you're driving, when you're doing the dishes. All that preoccupation, all those extra thoughts, that's that mental trash. Not to say that what you're thinking about is not important. It is, but it's this constant looping that is wearing you out. So what happened when I let it go? This is exactly what I did. It was something I used to do, but I had gotten away from it as I got more busy and more stressed and had more projects and more opportunities and phone calls. So let me share with you my routine, and then you take this for what it's worth for you. What has really been working for me? Number one, I sit here and I finish my client notes, because believe it or not, those unfinished, also called open loops, the things that, I should do it, I don't feel like it, but really you do need to finish it. So I sit here and I finish my client notes. And I tell you what, since I've really held my own feet to the fire, what a difference that makes. I glance at my calendar for tomorrow. I don't spend a lot of time on it. I review what I got done today beyond the client visits or the phone calls I needed to return. And then I refer to my weekly to-do list. On Sunday nights, I've started making my to-do list as a way of just kind of mapping out my week. And what that does for me is gives me a sense of control, that I'm in control of my list and my list is not controlling me. And that goes a long way for resting my mind. So from there, I power off my computer. I turn it off completely. Not to say that I don't still have a laptop, but for the most part, I have not been touching it at night. I shut this big one down, and then I sit down with my journal and I set a timer for 5 minutes. Sometimes I finish in 3, and I just write it all down. Everything that's flowing in my mind. I don't judge it. I don't think about it. I don't even go back and reread it. But this process of doing this mental dump, of taking out the trash, so to speak, putting it on paper so then my brain doesn't have to try and keep track of it. Now it's on paper and I can go back to it. Sometimes when I've looked at my notes the next day, I realize half the stuff on there is not important. It doesn't have to go on the to-do list. I don't have to do anything with it. Then I turn off the lights and I shut the door to my office. Talk about closure. This small act of closure has been everything for me. And it's helping me find balance with what I'm trying to do and create. So because when I do this, I don't lie in bed anymore, fighting, knowing I'm tired, but fighting these thoughts that are constantly spinning in my head. Instead, my brain gets the signal, you're done for the day, and then I sleep. But when I don't do it, oh boy, do I feel it. My dear friend Donna calls this monkey brain, and that is spot on. It's like tossing and turning all night. Same thoughts keep rolling over and over on repeat. And the next day I wake up groggy, foggy, and already feeling behind. So when I do my office closure procedure, this routine helps my mind keep from spinning. So now it's your turn. When this video ends, I challenge you to grab a piece of paper. Here's the steps that I want you to practice. Grab your paper, set a timer for 5 minutes. Maybe you'll be done in 2. But when that timer goes off, let it go. Promise me you're going to let this go. Dump everything that's on your mind. No editing, just write it down. When that timer stops, circle one thing to act on, either in the evening if it's easy, or put it on your list for tomorrow, but only if it's important. And you don't have to have something to act on. That's the other beauty of this method. You get to be the one in control. So that's it. 1 page, 1 action. This is a mindfulness-based practice used to help you sleep, to focus, to work on your emotional regulation for care partners. And this has research to back it up in an article from Stroke Magazine, Stroke Journal, 2022. I will link it in the show notes. You'll hear more about these methods in upcoming episodes, but I want you to start here today. So what's the loudest piece of mental trash you're still carrying? And who told you it was yours to keep holding on to? If this episode hit home, I want to share another story with you. It's called Lisa or Elena. It's about 2 care partners dealing with spouses with the same diagnosis, but they each had a different outcome. If you'd like to find out which one you are, please find the link in the show notes. It is there, and we will link it with a link here on this episode. You are not meant to carry this all alone. Until next time, listen for life and take back what matters.